Please put your hands together for Cat Winston.
That's the tit bump. I give the option of the hug. No one's ever taken it. They're comics, so I don't want to shake their hands because I don't know where they've been. So that explanation out of the way. Hey kids, I'm Cat Winston. How's it going? Give you an idea what you're in for, so to speak. If you could try and imagine taking Beth Chapman, Dog the Bounty Hunter's wife, and Winston Churchill, and just putting them in a blender, just you get me. Because I can say some pretty articulate, intelligent shit sometimes, but my bad attitude and my big tits tend to get in the way of you taking me very seriously. So, yeah. This is actually a lot like my other job. I am on a stage with a pole. Yeah. The fucked up part is I always get a little bit nervous doing comedy. And you know the classic saying, you're supposed to picture the audience naked? That's not really going to work for me. If you all could picture me naked, that would help a lot with the jitters. Duh. How about him? I don't know, I just keep waiting for that day where I get booked to do a gig at a nudist colony so I can meld my worlds. Like tell jokes and be topless. Be awesome. So easily the number one question I get asked in my job, are your boobs real? They're not imaginary. My second favorite I actually just got last week, and this drunken fellow stumbled over to me and he was like, "You're so beautiful. Are you single? Will you marry me?" And I was like, I am, but I'm only taking applications for stalkers right now. So, and he was like, "Oh." Dude passed on the night vision goggles for the white picket fence? What the fuck is that about? I don't understand. I had a guy the other night who was hounding me. He's like, "Give me your phone number, give me your phone number." I'm like, "Dude, I met you 10 minutes ago." No. Give me your phone number, give me your phone number. Finally, he thinks he's going to be real Joe Cool, and he puts his phone to like where you can enter in the number and just slides it across the table at me. And I pick it up, and he goes, no, you just enter the... I go, "No, I know." And I start scrolling through his contacts. And I hit mom, and I go, "What happens if I call this number?" And he just went white. That was fun. A lot of fun at my job. I tried to get some of my coworkers to come out tonight, but it was so cold they were afraid their saline would freeze, so... It's just me. I have learned after 8 years in my industry, there is certain music that should never be played in the strip club. Bop comes to mind. And Leonard Skinner, "Ooh, That Smell," is just like awkward. No. It's not good. So for those of you keeping track, I am both a stripper and a stand-up comic. My mom is so proud. She sat down last year to write her Christmas letter. She was like, "Cat's still at Bible camp. Doing super." So I got to text my mom recently because I found my first gray hair. And I freaked out. I was like, "Ah." So I text my mom and I was like, "Mom, I found my first gray hair." Sad face. She texts me back, "Where was it?" So I just like set the phone down. Maybe like 3 minutes. It goes. She goes, "Oh, I forgot you shaved there." That's my mom. Taking something depressing and making it awkward. It's not good. Ladies, if you haven't gotten in on this action, I suggest that you do. I have named my tits. Guys name their junk. He's like, bitch, don't be looking at me. What is it, Excalibur? What do you got? Excelsior. He's not telling now. But no, they do. Guys name their junk. So why be left out? I named my tits. I gave it a ton of thought. 6 months I was taking a poll, votes. It was either going to be Laverne and Shirley, very girly, retro, classic, Batman and Robin. Not as girly, but superpowers. But I had to go with this. Pinky and the Brain. Because my left hit's taking over the fucking world. It's only going to take one tit to slap the shit out of Sarah Palin, so... world's mine. Snarf. The thing I can't wait for, actually, though, is like the specialty implants. I know this is going to happen at some point in the future. They'll be able to put like speakers or squeakers or like game controllers. So you'd be like, dude, come on, I gotta leave for work. Honey, I'm trying to level up. Settle down. Best of all, if you could get beer on tap, can you imagine? You would know instantaneously if you were compatible with a woman. Be like, what do you got? PBR and Guinness. Will you marry me? This shit's gonna be awesome. I want springs, like, so when I'm really drunk, I can just fall and bounce back up. Genius. I don't know, it's kind of funny. Females actually aren't that common in comedy. It's predominantly male. I think they don't kick me out of the union for lack of dick jokes because I have a shit ton of tit jokes. That's why they let me hang out. Yeah. So a lot of the comics actually didn't believe me when I told them about my other job. One in particular, he was like, nuh-uh, you are not a stripper, you're making that up. So I was like, all right, fine. Dude goes, ooh! I told you, Shakira's hips don't lie, my tits don't lie. For that matter, why would I make that up? Don't you think if I was going to fabricate a career, I would have picked something a little more prestigious? Like, if you're going to lie big, be like, I'm an astronaut. Stripper? Really? I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how that's ever really going to come in handy. Like, maybe if I learn Morse code, put that on a job application? Possibly. Here's my secret hope, and it hasn't happened yet. I have been able to do that for a year, and I have yet to be pulled over. Scared the shit out of a fucking comic because he was in the car, and a cop flipped a bitch behind us, and I was like, oh goody, we're gonna get pulled over. And he's like, crazy bitch, what the fuck? I go, what, do you have warrants? Because I just want to see, like, if I can bounce my way out of a ticket. Like, that's a job perk. I got it all figured out. I'd be like, I'm so sorry, officer. No idea I was speeding. I couldn't see the speedometer over my giant chesticles. My money is on he's going to let me go with a warning, but he's going to put out an APB and be like, pull this bitch over, she's bouncy. Yeah. So don't exactly, you think your coworkers are dumb. I guarantee I can see and raise you. I don't exactly get to work with the best and the brightest. We got a new girl in at work, and she bounded over to me all blonde and bubbly. She was like, hi, I'm Mercedes. And I was like, I'm bad with names. She goes, oh, it's my stage name and my real name. I use it for both because my family comes in all the time, and I don't want them to get confused. It's a public service announcement. Don't name your daughter after a fucking car or a gemstone. She will become a stripper. You don't want a stripper daughter. Gertrude is a safe bet. Helpful pointers, you know. Do you guys like the movie The Blues Brothers? Blues Brothers fans? Fuck yeah. Dude, I got like the tie, I got the hat, the glasses, everything. So I rocked that shit out at work, right? Oddly enough, I had this poor kid. I was trying to be funny, and I go, I'm on a mission from God. And he reeled back like I was some psycho-religious stripper. I was like, no, it's from the movie. Never mind. But I danced to Sweet Home Chicago, which is about a 6-minute song. And I go back in the dressing room and I get accosted by this pint-sized little cunt. She's like, that was the longest song of my life. So the next time we were up together, I played In-A-Gadda-Da-Vida and Alice's Restaurant. Yeah, creative and vindictive is a powerhouse combo. The newest dumb bunny I get to work with. I'm sitting out front and I'm smoking a cigarette, and she's trying to give someone directions to the club we work at, and she looks at me and she goes, how do you spell mulberry? I just looked back down at my phone like I couldn't hear her. I was like, you have to get on the street to get... Never mind. Better still, she overheard a conversation between me and a customer where I was saying, I am the last person who should know anyone's phobias. Because I'm that type of person where if I know you have a button, I just push it over and over and over and over and over and over again to get a reaction. So I know who's afraid of zombies, who's afraid of clowns, who's afraid of midgets. Immediately after saying the phrase, I should not know people's phobias, this bitch goes, I'm terrified of sharks. Did you not hear what I just said? She goes, after I saw Jaws, I didn't shower for 2 weeks. Ironically enough, my manager slipped and told me that she has a tendency not to lock her locker, so I put an inflatable shark in there. Hey, listen, you gotta have fun at the workplace, right? Yeah. I don't know. We had one that she was super short, even in the really tall shoes. And so she would tease her hair into this weird, like, Darth Vader helmet thing. And I didn't notice, it just looked poofy until my manager was like, doesn't she look like Darth Vader? I was like, oh my God, she does. I was like, dude. So I was like, go. So he walks up to her and he goes, okay, can you just do me one favor? Will you just say, Luke, I'm your father? She goes, I don't get it. This is what I'm dealing with. One of our girls, actually, her roommate went out and bought a bunch of those Activia yogurts. And this bitch apparently didn't pay close enough attention to the commercials. Born with a blunt in her mouth, she ate like 8 of them. And then came into work. She spent the first half of her shift on the toilet and the other half curled up in the fetal position crying over her bumhole. And I hope she writes a scathing letter to Jamie Lee Curtis, and it's even remotely grammatically correct. If I'm gonna be fair, really, though, I should probably tell my fucked up little story in that arena. How many people here have had to call into work when you're sick? Yeah. You probably didn't give like the gory details about how violently your body was malfunctioning because you want to be able to look your boss in the eye, right? Right. Well, my boss and I are tight. We worked together for 8 years, so I felt like I could be really honest with him. So I texted him and I said, Rob, do you know what a shart is? Some of you do. He texts me back, if you shit your pants, I do. Fuck. I text him, yes. I knew of, but had never personally experienced the phenomenon until today. I have learned that well whiskey and cokes and Doritos Locos Tacos will both individually taste glorious, but will later create a liquid poo magma that is unpredictable and unpleasant. I would very much prefer not to come into work tonight, as I have found the humiliation I experienced in Albertsons to be sufficient. Yeah. I feel like I'm like Ask a Nurse now. Now all my friends tell me their short stories. I'm like, I was traumatized once. It doesn't mean tell me your shit.